It's hard to say that there's good news coming out of Gaza. And yet, it seems like in the past 24 hours, we do see good news out of Gaza. We see widespread protests against Hamas. We see a recognition among many, many Gazans that Hamas are bad for their future and make their future impossible. And we see many recognizing that the death and destruction that has come on Gaza is the fault of Hamas. So that's the good news. The bad news is nowhere, and I follow a lot of Gazan accounts in Arabic, nowhere is there any acknowledgement of the right of Israel to exist. And worse, nowhere is there any acknowledgement or remorse about what happened on October 7th. In no place will you see Gazans say, you know what, we shouldn't have done that. That was just too cruel, too brutal, too barbaric. Nowhere, none of that. So what's going to be the future of Gaza? The future of Gaza is depending on how much the people of Gaza will reject Hamas, will reject terrorists, and will embrace peace. Gaza is a place that for 76 years has been terrorizing Israel. In fact, Gaza was never really considered a Palestinian territory as much as an Egyptian. In fact, it was controlled by the Egyptians since 1948. The problem is the reason Israel ended up taking over Gaza was because there were so many terror attacks launched from Gaza that they had to take it over and clear it up. And then later they left because there was too much terrorism in Gaza. But the point is, Gaza has been a hostile force against Israel for more than 70 years, more than 75 years. And am I hopeful? It depends who takes control there, and it depends on the people. But at the same time, no one in all this 76 years of history, no one ever has caused as much damage and destruction like Hamas has, both to the people of Gaza and the people of Israel. And yes, I am optimistic. I do hope that once Hamas are out, we won't see a full harmony between Israel and Gaza. You won't see the kind of harmony that exists between Israel and the Abraham Accords countries. But at the same time, I do think that if we uproot Hamas, if there's an alternative that's viable, we'll see much less of what we've seen in the past. And that's a good thing. To the people of Gaza, I say, look at what happened to Germany in 1945. It was destroyed to the core, but the German people were able to pick themselves up, and only because they recognized how terrible what they did during the war was, did they rise up and rebuild their country. And so for Gaza to really be recreated as a productive, as a safe, as a prosperous place, the people of Gaza needed to acknowledge the evil of Hamas, the evil of what they perpetrated, their crimes against humanity carried out on October 7th. And I think with that, with a full recognition of how evil what has happened was, they do have a future that could be better than what they had.